So your paper. All right.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Welcome back, Epic Humans. Welcome back to PSP Life. I'm here with the big bro Steve-O. And
You're not even in the frame, bro.
yeah, no, I am probably on that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no, it's just that you've seen like a smaller version.
Ah, yeah.
But if you looked on from the back, you'd see
Is it the same as that one?
It's bigger than that.
Oh, true. Yeah, okay, yeah. Cut.
Anyway, so cut that out.
Yep.
Not cut, because we don't even know how to edit yet, so we won't be cutting that out. That's just part of the deal.
Alright, yeah. Fucking sweet as.
Yeah, anyway, so like I spent a lot of time in the States, as most people that know me well know, and met a lot of good people over there, a lot of crazy people, and I've got a pretty crazy tale of a good dude that I met over there. He was a pretty crazy cat, not gonna lie, young fella, and over the years he worked for me off and on, and yeah, just a bit of a loose unit. Shot himself twice accidentally with a shotgun in different times, and also, you know, like just he was loose, and loose program is what I like to call it. And yeah, so a bit of a story about how I met him, and then what sort of ended up transpiring down the road with him. He did end up getting murdered. So to protect any ongoing investigation, I'm going to call him Smad Smeechum, okay, and AKA Joe Dirt is what we used to call him. And if you know anything about Joe Dirt, long mullet, just a Joe Dirt looking guy. He pretty much was Joe Dirt. So, yeah. So anyway, Steve-O, you got to go to this place where I did meet Smad.
Yep.
And there's a place called 360, and it's in the middle of like Fort Worth and Dallas, off a couple of highways that meet like 183 and 360. And yeah, it was just an out of it place where like a friend of mine, we heard rumours of it when we first were there, and of this place you could go ride and do all these, down this river. It was called the Trinity River. So anywhere where there's power lines and stuff like that, we could go down there and ride. And when Steve-O came over, I took him down there. Unfortunately, when he was there, a lot of it had been taken over by, houses and schools and factories and all sorts of bullshit, over the period of time. But he did get to go down, and what you got to see was pretty rad.
Still
anyway.
turned it into a pretty mad time, man.
Yeah.
Ran out of beers, got stuck, had to wait for ages, no phone service,
The ship.
The ship was rad, man. You know, the fact that in the middle of nowhere, some mad bastards could drag out a bunch of scaffold and welders and all the stuff. One mad bastard
who happens to be my brother-in-law. Peace, Brian. You're the man.
Is Brian your brother-in-law?
Well, essentially.
Kind of, eh?
He's hooked up.
Yeah, Brian was a bit of an out of it cat. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, he still is, mate. Very, very out of it.
But yeah, man, I'm telling you, there's like a 4 or 5 story freaking scaffold ship thing out there that these boys would party at and stuff, eh?
Yeah, he had a Mr. Who telephone box up in there, like about the 3rd story up and shit. It was just crazy, and it was made out of like solid steel.
Yeah.
Just an out of a place where a lot of transients would be, like stolen cars, whatever you name it, man. People
fucking
would get
rednecks,
murdered.
mate.
People would get murdered down there. It was dead bodies get found down there all the time, and it was just a crazy place, which we liked because then essentially we could do whatever we want down there, which was just riding dirt bikes and having fun and 4-wheel drives and all that. So that being said, getting back to Smad, I remember being down there one day and we had all these dirt bike ramps down there and we were all just having a good time, and we also had all these big tree houses that this same guy Brian had built, and we had these what they call over there zip lines, what we call flying foxes, and it was just uncontrolled chaos, really, is what it was. And cars and 4-wheel drives and dirt bikes pretty much going everywhere, and we just happened to meet this dude, and sure enough, like he looked like a bloody 30-year-old mate, but he was only 18, and but he had a big grown full man beard and Joe Dirt hair and shit, and he was just he had his boots on, and you know, it was just a fucking, like, he just you could just feel the energy off this dude, hey, man. He was a good dude, bro. You know? And so we gravitated towards each other, obviously, and some of the shit that we get up to down there was pretty wild. And that, and, you know, and we hung out, you know, down there for quite a while, like, just, you know, off and on. I'd see him and shit, you know, and eventually, like a lot of people that I met, you know, I was always in the business of trying to find guys to work for me, you know, so I managed to convince him to come and work for me, which was interesting. But like his whole outlook on life was like, you know, like he was, you know, pretty much I don't want to say anti-government, but more anti-system, more, you know, like more anti the norm. You know, like I'm not going to be doing what everyone else would normally do. I'm just going to, you know, do what I do, which is be a fucking crazy ass redneck from the
sounds
fucking,
like someone else I know, to be honest.
From the fucking, like, from the desert almost, you know, where he came up was in a place called Seymour, Texas, and there's not much out there. So they just, you know, they run a loose program out there too, you know. And so one story in particular with him, you know, he was working for me, and just to show you what type of dude he is, I ran a bit of a loose program when it was coming to my business and that, and not a. I mean, Texas is like outlaw country, you know, and you don't have to, like, some of the same rules and regulations that apply in other states don't necessarily apply there. So you can, I think it allows you to hire, you know, like, I wouldn't say illegals, but illegals, you know.
A little bit like Kiwis they are, I've found, but without as many restrictions and shit in place of just being loose, you know. Yeah, well, pretty friendly people.
Yeah, are you talking about
Texans and stuff? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, mate. No, awesome people, mate. You know, all around. You know, obviously you're gonna have shit cunts wherever you go.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we were away working, and I'm up on this roof, and we had this ladder set up, and he comes running up with some steel closures that I needed for up there, and I mean, you know, he was just always in a bit of a rush, you know, and probably because, you know, like, he liked to indulge in other things too, you know, and so he was just ripping it, and he comes flying up this ladder with a pile of shit on his shoulder like this, and he come up with so much speed, like, it's probably about a 10 to 12 foot ladder, running up it. And the ladder just took off out from under his feet. He drops everything and lands right on his wrist. And I'm like, oh shit, mate. You know, like immediately all I see is, like, you know, problems and dollar signs, you know, when he's going down. But sure. I am worried about him, obviously, but I can see that he's not, like, in a life or death situation. I'm like, whoa, Chad, what's up? I mean, Smad, what's up? And he's like, oh, no, we're all good, bro. And I was like, oh, man, you sure? And I get down there and I have a look at his wrist, and it's already swelling up. And I'm like, oh, mate, you're not too good. He goes, no, I'll be right, mate. I'll keep working. I was like, mate, you know, go put some ice on it, chill out. Yeah, I let him be for a little while, and I head over there. I'm like, hey, man, how you looking? He's like, bro, it's, it's pretty fucked, you know. And I'm like, all right. I said, well, let's take you down to the hospital. And so we fly off down to the hospital, and then he's on the way down. He's like, "Don't worry about anything, Robbie. Just drop me off, mate. Just drop me off. Don't worry about anything." And I'm like, "Oh, mate, no, you'll be right. I'll come and I'll drop you off, but I'll come and scoop you up. But just, you know, whatever's, bro. You know, whatever you need, mate. I'll take care of it." And then the guy never gets back to me, you know. And we all go back to the hotel after work and that. You know, we're out of town and that, and never gets back to me. And I'm like thinking, where is this cat? You know. So eventually, like I hit him up. Oh no, actually, come to think of it, was a long time ago, he just showed up. He just showed up at the hotel, and at the motel, and I was like, what, bro, I would have come and got you. He's like, oh no, man, don't worry about it, mate, you know. And he's like, don't worry about it, Robbie. I told him I did it on my dirt bike, mate. I was hanging out with my mates, and I crashed my dirt bike, so you don't have to worry about anything. And I was like, oh, Chad, bro, you're an out of the cat. Yeah. No, I wasn't. I would have taken care of whatever was, you know. Yeah. But because it was that sort of accident, then there was no, like, repercussions or something, you know.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you just think about the character of a man, you know, or an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, whatever he was at the time, that's what he was like, you know.
Yeah.
You know, he was a good dude. And another time, when he was working for me, because he worked for me off and on, you know, like a lot of the boys did, you know. And we built like on the back, he had this Toyota T100 is what they called them back in the day.
Right.
It's like a Toyota, ute.
Yeah.
And it's just a 2-wheel drive ute.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit bigger than like a Hilux, or it was,
yeah,
a High Ace or whatever.
All things are bigger over there anyway.
Yeah, but it still wasn't like one of the American styles. It was still, and because we built sheds, so we had all this metal and shit on site. We ended up building on the back of this thing. It was a standard cab, I think.
Yeah.
This big old shed on the back of this. And we're up there.
A fireplace in it?
Oh, not quite. He would have put one. Could have had lights in there, mate. It was mean. And but like as we're finishing it up, there's a few of us up there and we're having a few beers, and then the owner of the job rolls up and we've got this shed that's got this all his material and trim and shit on there on the back of this dude's ute. He's like, what the hell, mate? But
off cuts, man.
He was a good sport, Yeah. And so anyway, I always remember, mate, because at 360 it was like mudfest at times, and I just big 4-wheel drive trucks everywhere, mate. Just dudes hanging out of the window, fucking tits everywhere, just everyone having a good time, mate, in the mud. If it was a rainy, muddy weekend, oh, mate, you were in for a good time, And, but so many people would get stuck, and that was a lot of the fun, You just go down and you wouldn't even have to do much. You just chill out and just watch people just get stuck, do crazy shit,
Yeah.
But Chad, in that 2-wheel drive, mate, I don't know if it was something with the shed on the back of it or not, mate, but it had so much traction. And he just had these big mud chunkers in the back.
Yeah.
He was going like past 4-wheel drives that was stuck and shit, just like, like this, man. It was so cold,
Yeah.
But, man, he would just get that thing in places where no one else could, like, you just wouldn't do it with 2-wheel drive realistically, but he pulled it off, and so that was always good times, mate, from like that. And
but like you fucking mentioned, he shot himself twice accidentally.
Yeah.
With a shotgun. How the fuck do you do that? I mean.
Yeah, well, the first time was pretty fucking ridiculous, mate. Both times were pretty similar situations.
Like in the foot or fucking.
Oh no, mate. He blew half his face off, mate.
Oh shit.
Yeah. The first time. So this is a long time after these stories that I just told you about him.
Yeah.
Had transpired. You know what I mean? Like he did move away and all that, and he'd moved away with another friend of mine, RTD, which rest in peace too, Rick the Dick, RTD. He they were pretty tight, and so they moved up to Oklahoma together, and old Rick, he kind of lots of different health issues, I would imagine, but his lungs were always an issue, and he sort of passed away just in his sleep one night from maybe
from something
bit of overindulgence or just but he had you could tell he had major health issues going on, so rest in peace, Rick the Dick.
Yeah.
But him and Chad were tight, but when that happened, Chad kind of stepped it up another level. I felt like he went from just being crazy as hell to fucking crazy as hell, and so anyway, where he was brought up, I didn't have a lot of time with him after that. We drifted apart obviously a little bit because I had my shit going on and he had his buzz, but where he moved back to and where he was brought up, he they lived on a lake sort of thing, big lake, not on the lake but around the lake, and there's trails. I mean, there's nothing out there, so there's trails and shit everywhere, and they just go out there in their 4x4s and stuff, and just, they love their guns and they love shooting animals, and so they're just running around out there, just taking
shit.
Jackson, fuck, and just shooting whatever moves realistically, and gun safety wasn't a thing with Chad, I'm assuming, and he had the shotgun right there, and they went over a big bump, and somehow the trigger got pulled, and he just blew his front of his face off, pretty much.
God damn.
Yeah.
Fuck, gun safety people, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
I can drive around with loaded weapons, It's going to...
we'll start shooting out of the car.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, keep the weapon pointing out of the car then.
I mean, obviously, I wasn't there, but that was the story I got told, and it's pretty obvious because I seen him. He was in the hospital for a very long time. He survived though, which was fucking mind blowing. And
but then he had half a face.
Well, they, Americans are pretty cool. If someone's in a you know, like someone that's not from a wealthy family necessarily or doesn't have a lot of money, if they are in a situation where they need help, people will give money and
right.
you know, help. And so, you know, Chad, initially it took a long time, bro. He had like skin grafts out the wazoo to get his face built back together and that. And the first time I seen him after that, we were at RTD's wedding, funeral. So I guess, you know, he did this before Rick the Dick died.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can imagine why he fucking went from this
no
to this.
doubt,
you know?
Yeah, I mean, fuck, that's a pretty heavy thing to do to yourself, eh? You know, like.
Yeah, so like, yeah, so I got
was that the first time he shot himself, or the second time he shot himself?
That was the first time. Yeah, this got the timeline a little bit off there, but anyway.
Yeah.
But like, so
you'd learn.
So, but we're at the funeral and that, and we was, you know, having a yarn and that, and it was hard to look at him, bro, because you're just looking at a dude that's completely different. His face is all fucked up, but he still smoked cigarettes, and he couldn't fucking puff it through his mouth, mate. Oh. So he'd fucking smoke through his fucking nose, bro.
Crack up. He's just like, oh.
No, he's like, check this out, Robbie, you know, fucking, and because he couldn't talk real well, you know, his jaw was all fucked up and shit. But but to be fair, like I said, some people reached out to this doctor in New York. There was a real good plastic surgeon, and they actually put him back together really well. He really fixed him up quite a bit.
Right.
And with a growing beard and that, you know, he looked a bit different, but, you know, he was still the same Chad, you know, and Smad,
yeah.
And, so, like, so that happened, and then, you know, I don't know how much longer after that, like, he was buzzing around and stuff, and out there in the trails again, in the back of the old 4x4 again, mate. And another situation where he had no gun safety, and then he blew his knee off.
Oh man.
Yeah, bro. So like,
honestly,
loose cunt. You know, just I guess, you know, you get to a point where you just don't give a fuck, you know, anymore, or you just don't give a fuck.
I guess fucking, like a lot of people after a bad fucking accident, they're fucking deep into the fucking pharmaceuticals, you know, to deal with the pain and stuff of it all, and don't get off it.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, to be fair,
downward spiral.
My mate Joe Dirt, aka Smad Smeechum, he was very, very, very into his pills throughout the whole process, mate, since I met him. In fact, he told me a story when I first met him, bro. I was like, this is trippy for me, you know, like, because, you know, coming from here, you just didn't, it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
It's like, mate, you know, if you want these, you just go tell the doctor this, and they'll give you those.
Yeah.
You want this, you go tell the doctor that, and they'll give you that. And I was like, wow, fuck, that's trippy. He's like, mate, it's that easy.
And then if you've got this and that, then if you want to feel like this, you have this, and if you want to feel like that, you have this. Or you have this, and then you have this, and then you have this one over here to deal with what you did with those.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's a bit of a culture.
Hell,
it's a bit of a culture over there.
Yeah,
and
it is.
So I don't know if that can.
Doctors have got a lot.
I'm not going to say that. Pharmaceutical companies, bro.
And them.
But we don't need to get into that bullshit,
yeah.
bro.
Yep. Nah.
Because I'll go down a fucking twisted fucking, you know, rabbit hole again, mate.
Yeah, no, we don't want to do that, man. Fuck that.
Yeah, but, you know, he was fully addicted to pills at time. You know, he wouldn't always be on them, but he loved the shit out of them, mate, you know. But he smoked a lot of bongs and shit too. He loved the weed and drunk, you know, loved drinking, you know. Like, just, all of that shit can contribute to whatever you want to think about, you know, being loose cunt or just, you know, addiction or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to say, I mean, I would assume he was pretty wasted when he blew his head off and might have helped him survive it.
Yeah,
you know?
Probably, maybe.
But yeah, so anyway, like, you know, like, that was trippy when he did it again. Like, when I got told that he blew his knee off, I was like, oh, fuck, Chad, what the fuck are you up to, bro? Oh, Smad. Fuck, Smad, what are you up to, you know?
Yeah.
And, so, but I still didn't have a lot of contact with him at the time. And then, so what happened in the end there was, you know, with, obviously he ran in some circles, you know, that weren't fucking of savoury, you know, like good people, you know. And he got lured. From my understanding, I wasn't there to witness it or see it, but from my understanding, through the stories I've been told, is he was lured out to this place out in West Texas, you know, maybe under the guise of like some sort of deal of some sort. And then they just pretty much popped him out there and left him.
Wow.
And he didn't get found for a little while. I don't think. I don't really know the full details of it, and that. So yeah, that was Chad's short-lived life of fucking chaos. I mean, Smad, chaos. So yeah. Met some crazy people over there.
We're going to edit, but you might have to get the beep button out.
Yeah. Well, hey, mate, it was a shotgun one here, mate.
Just use the shotgun one, bro.
Yeah. Nah, it's all right. I don't think anyone's going to watch this podcast anyway, Steve.
Nah,
so
probably
we don't
not
need to worry
anyway.
about it, mate.
Just doing it for ourselves, I guess, for a bit of fun. But
yeah. No, out of it, Cat. R.I.P. to you, bro. Just fucking loose cunt. And that's the story of AKA Joe Dirt, Smad Schmitchen. And that's our little short potty for the day, mate.
Oh, wicked, man. Yeah.
We definitely want to thank the boys straight off the rip before we shut this down. Cuts concrete, concrete cutting, core drilling. Haven't said that for a while, Terry. So, I appreciate you, Terry, mate. You're awesome, brother. Kyrie Plastering, epic. Lee, you're the man. You guys do good shit. So, we're stoked to keep you on board with us, mate. You guys have just been helping us out with the beverages from the start. So, one day Spates will take over and then, see what happens. But
we might have our own brew coming soon, man. A PSB brew,
A-Dot.
It'll taste like shit, so no one will want to buy it, but we'll drink it. Hey, it might not taste like shit, as long as our mate that we're going to con into making it for us makes it good, then be all right.
Oh, we're going to have some pretty pure water to work with.
Yeah, water bottling.
A-Dot water.
Stuff like that,
Purified.
Watch out for water. A-Dot band coming in the distant future when we all learn how to actually play an instrument properly, and keep it tight. But you're working on it,
Yeah.
It's bloody good fun. Working on it last night. It was a fucking hell session. It was so good.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Best fun, eh?
Just the three of you?
Just three of us, bro. Just fucking around with different instruments, and got to have a jam on the bass and hold a fucking bass line for about, I don't know, shit, it must have been on this one jam for about 15 minutes, man. And fucking when we finished, it was just mate Danny on the drums. He doesn't do much drumming, but fuck, he managed to just keep it tight, and he had all the changes and stuff, and
was Nick leading
and Nick's
the way?
just ripping on the guitar, and fuck, it was such a buzz, man. I went away on a high.
Yeah.
That stuff's awesome,
That's
man.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe who knows? One day we could put together a fucking intro for this thing,
Oh yeah, ultimate.
And then
ultimate
do even one in the fucking jam room, and have a jam as part of the potty, and
keep your eye out for that one.
Got some ideas for this anyway.
Yeah,
try and get some rad people interview. Go and see them in their own place and stuff. Hey, bro.
Yeah, bro.
That's kind of what we're thinking. So if you've got any feedback, fucking fire it out there, man.
Yeah. So we managed to pull this one off. It's been a while. Trying to tear it up, and
time.
Yeah. I've got plenty more guys to talk about in the States, that's for sure. So and definitely some fucking cool stories of stuff I got up to. So even we'll just pump a few of those out if anyone's into it. Whatever.
Yeah, like our trip to New Orleans. That was pretty good, eh?
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
Fuck yeah, what a night that was, eh? The story how Steve-O got lost. The boys got the wrong idea about where I might have been.
Yeah, we were lucky to make it out of that establishment, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and then walking alone through the streets of New Orleans, pissed as a fart, fucking not knowing where I was actually going. But I made it to where we were going in the end. These boys had just bailed on me.
No, he bailed on us first, mate.
Fault,
so if you want to hear the full story,
Yeah. We'll tell the full story sometime,
It's like anything. If you fucking just see a little shot of a video of someone getting bashed by the cops, or someone bashing the cops, or whatever it might be, you don't know the whole story. Steve-O's not telling the whole story, mate.
Yeah. No, I kind of was walking behind them and just ducked into a bar, and that was me for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't find him, mate. That's for sure. He was hiding. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, that is a story for another time, though. Yeah. So, tune in next time, guys. Peace out. PSB Life.
You.